Hi everyone, I'm back today with a video on my embroidery machine. I've had a few people come into the shop where I work that have stated they've been on one group or another, and they were told that they could not use their multi-needle machine to do some of the events that they might attend. For instance, Kimberbell event. I'm here to tell you that yes, most definitely you can. Even if you don't have the PR650, the PR670 or the PR1050 that have the, excuse me, the manual sequencing. If you have earlier versions, there is also a way to use those machines for these events and designs as well. So for instance, I have a Kimberbell quilt that I need to put together for the store, and I have the designs on my USB stick, and this is the first design. So I'm going to choose the design, and I'm going to hit set, and I'm going to rotate it because I'm using my 5x7 hoop, and in the multi-needle, the vertical is turned 90 degrees in the multi-needle. So I'm going to turn the design, say OK. I'm going to end edit, and you have this little button here. This is called manual sequencing. If you see the manual sequencing up here on your screen, that means you've gone into your settings and you have turned it on. So your settings is down here. I'm sorry. Let me scroll you down a little bit. Sorry for the jerk. Right here's your settings. So you go into your settings and you scroll through the pages. Till you see that manual color sequence. You want to turn that on. Mine is already on, so I'm just going to say OK. This is the indicator. I'm sorry, I've got to move the camera again. This is the indicator that lets you know you have manual sequencing on. So now, if I go into this icon, I'm still not all the way into the embroidery screen yet. So I'm going to hit that button. Now what it allows me to do is it allows me to not only assign needles with the specific colors I have on my machine, will also let me assign a stop. Most of your Kimberbell and other digitizers will have step-by-step instructions on stitching out the pattern. So for instance, my book from Kimberbell, and I'm working on the vintage boardwalk quilt, tells me that this stitch right here is my placement line. So I know I want to stitch that out, and then I want the machine to stop so that I can place my applique fabric. So first of all, I'm going to tell it I want it to use needle 1. I have my white on needle 1, and I have my navy blue on needle 2. This is going to be white fabric, so I'm going to leave that be. If I come down to the next color, you see the same looking design. This is your tack down stitch. So you've laid the fabric down, and now you're going to tack it down. This is where you want the stop. So you want to put your hand up, and I'm also going to use white thread for that. So I'm going to change my needle to number 1 because that's where my white thread is. Okay? So essentially, when you're using the manual color sequencing to program your machine to stop in between certain stitches, you want to place the hand on the next color. For instance, I'm going to let it stitch this one because I've placed my hand here in the second one. It's going to stop when it finishes this one. It will not go any further. I hope that makes sense. Now let's say for some reason you forgot to do your manual color sequencing before you got into your design. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to go to embroidery. You can see here I only have one stop programmed. Well, I need a few more stops because I've got more applique to do here. So I've forgotten to put my stops in here, here, and here. And if you have an older machine, this will help you with doing appliques or some of these specialty designs on your multi-needle, because you have this little reserve stop here. He's your friend. So because I forgot to put a stop here, when it starts stitching this one, remember when you use the manual sequencing, this is saying stop before you stitch that color. So now it's going to stitch that color, but I don't have a stop here. So while this is stitching, I can reach up here and I can hit reserve stop. And it will stop immediately after it finishes this. I am going to return, and I'm going to go back to my manual sequencing. I know I need a stop here. I know I need a stop here. And I can tell that from reading the directions and looking at what it is stitching out on the screen. I know I don't need a stop there, don't need one there, don't need one there, because it's doing the satin stitches and the details. So here, I'm going to tell it to use needle 2 because that's where my navy is. Here, I'm going to tell it to use needle 2. Here, let me check to see what that is. Oh, that I'm going to tell it to use 1. And that is this line down through here. This satin stitch around the bottom part, the bathing suit. And then last but not least, we have the upper part. And I know that's going to be white, so I'm going to use needle 1. So I have all my stops programmed. I need one more right here. The reason I need this one is because I need to trim the fabric before it goes to that next step. Say okay, then go to embroider, and I'm ready to go. I hope that helps you. If you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to let me know, and I'll do what I can to help you out. Thanks again. Have a great day.